What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Report. Today's feature is the 3-episode roundup for the winter 2019 season, where I give you my thoughts on a few of the series that I've been watching in the winter season, and we'll just have to see how that goes. Well, first and foremost, let's get this out of the way. If you had any plans on watching that show, Dubs or W or whatever the hell it's called, don't watch it. Don't watch it because it's a sequel to Handshakers. There it is. Spoiler, the cat's out the bag. Ooh, why would you do that? They straight up,
they played us like a damn fiddle!
Okay, now that that's out the way, let's get something else out the way, but something out the way and a good thing. First and foremost, that is Promised Neverland. I love it. You guys know I love it. It is everything I wanted out of the series as far as an anime adaptation. There is some little things here and there, but not anything big to actually destroy it. It's still doing a good job of building that suspense. So with the first 3 episodes of Promised Neverland, seriously, I am really enjoying it. It is exceeding my expectations as an adaptation. Even as a manga reader, I still have that same sense of excitement coming in to watch it every week. And now it's more along the lines of just seeing how things are developing. One thing that I can say that, and this is just going to happen, the manga and the anime, when you put them side to side, the anime is a little bit faster paced. They are missing out on a lot of the psychological aspects of it. It's not as bad as Tokyo Ghoul or Tokyo Ghoul Re, but they're missing a lot of dialogue, and I understand they only have 12 episodes. They're trying to cover the first arc, and they're trying to, you know, speed things up a little bit, but at the same time, it feels like something missing because, again, that's a manga reader, but it's not a bad thing. That I actually like the job that they're doing. The direction of this series is breathtaking, I must say that. Although some viewers are not too keen on like the quick zoom and cuts and the rotations and the spins that it takes with the camera, I like it. I enjoy it because it is supposed to be that type of series. It's supposed to be a thought-provoking series. Like, it was a scene in episode 2 when Emma's thinking and you seeing the clock going left and right, and they're actually panning the camera going along with that. It's a perpetual game of cat and mouse, and they are so far doing a good job of that. I do wish that they would slow it down just a little bit to expand on some of the things that they're doing, but this is probably holding the OP and ED guaranteed spot at the top of my charts by the end of the year. It's just too good. Overworld went in, Kochi Nie went in as they're the spiritual successors of Ling Sugure, Tosai Sugure. They have that same type of feel, and they bring that in with the ending as well. The series itself has potential to be one of the year's best, and we're already in January. Of course, again, this is nothing that I didn't know already because I'm already a big fan of the series, but similar to Made in Abyss and ReZero in the past, Promised Neverland looks like it's going to be one of those series that we might get the dub a classic, but we'll just have to see where that goes. So without further ado, after 3 episodes, Promised Neverland, you get a pass. Now the next series that I want to talk about is Boogie Pop and Others, and with this series, I don't know guys, it kind of got me in a bind because it's not that I don't like the series. In fact, I like it very much. It's just the pacing, the format, and how it is all set up is just confusing as hell, and honestly, and I'm glad I'm not the only person that felt that way, because watching this series make me feel like I'm taking crazy pills sometimes. But with this, we got a double episode right out the gate, so by the time we got to the 3-episode rule, it was already on episode 5, so you got to make your decision on this series pretty quickly. But coming in with a personal preference, you know, this early in the game with a watch order of episode 2, then 3, then 1, things could get a little bit weird with this series, in that so you have to watch the episode twice. And you know, it's, again, it's not that I have a problem with that. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not in the mood to do that right now. Like, for example, with episode 1, 2, and 3, you know, you got the conclusion of everything at the end of the beginning actually of episode 1. You know, episode 2 kind of showed you what was going on. Then they kind of meshed it all together and wrapped it up in a bow with episode 3. And looks like we did the same thing going into episode 4 and 5. Like, it starts off, we already know what's gonna happen. Then they go back and tell you how, and it isn't a bad thing. It's just not something that I want to do at the moment. I feel that Boogie Pop has a lot of potential moving forward, especially with the 4 episodes setting up this weird sequence. But overall, I feel this series will be something that'd be better watched as a binge. I think this is something that will come off a little bit better once you get everything together at once. Watch it that way, then you won't have as much to figure out. You probably still have to watch it twice, but at least you won't have to wait till next week sitting there scratching your head like, what the hell did I just watch? The overall setup of this series is similar to the movie series Kara no Kyokai, where the events of Boogie Pop is all over the place. Who knows what the way that is going? Probably the last 3 episodes is probably going to be the beginning of everything. I don't know. And again, I feel this is something that it isn't a bad thing. It might actually be rewarding for some. It might even be rewarding for me, but just going off of the first run of episodes is something that I would say wait on personally. Let some episodes build if you don't want to wait all the way to the end, then give it a shot again. But I do love the chilling and eerie feel that this series have. I love watching these thought-provoking type of series, and I've mentioned this before. I like watching stuff like this like Sunday night, right before it's time for me to go to bed, you know, get that serious element of things going. I can't recommend it because it's so weirdly paced, so that's why I'm going to give the series a wait. The next series we have is Dororo, not Dororo, and not to be confused with Durarara. Dororo is one of the OGs of anime. It is no wonder that people were excited about this because it goes all the way back to the 60s. This series is from the literal father of manga, Osamu Tezuka, the man who created Astro Boy and Kimba the White Lion. You know, the roots in this series go all the way back to the 60s. In fact, it actually had a 26 episode run back then too. So this was pretty highly anticipated, even though I was ignorant to what it was. I was interested in what the story was about. I did not know that this is one of the forefathers of anime and manga itself, so that was a good thing because Dororo brings me everything I wanted out of a samurai type of series. It has a feel kind of like Inuyasha at times, you know, dealing with demons and demon slaying and possession and things like that, but it also, you know, has kind of that era where, you know, things were kind of lawless and, you know, have sword will travel type of environment, but things get really dark with this series, and it gets dark right away. I mean, it goes in from the beginning, and that's always a good thing with me. Dororo is a story about a boy by the name of Haikyumaru and his companion, of course, Dororo. But Haikyumaru was born with no limbs. I mean, he has no features, no organs, or anything like that because his father actually sacrificed this child to the gods in order for power and prosperity for his village. And now these two are on a quest to hunt down these demons because each one of the demons that Haikyumaru defeats, he actually gets a piece of himself back. Like we see earlier on in the first episode, you know, he started to get his face back. He got his sense of pain. He got feelings and things like that because he was blind. It's a very interesting series, and Dororo is dark. It's entertaining. It's endearing, and it just has that right amount of dark heart, but still has a little bit of lightness to it to draw you in every week and make you truly interested and care about these characters. And it has a stellar opening song, and the first 3 episodes was even better. I mean, I was glued to my seat completely from the first scene, and the art, the animation, and music, everything just hits all the right centers on this series. We're dealing with a series where the character is literally gonna have to build himself, and as he's building, he's gonna get development because he's out there with no pain. So now that he does have pain, is he gonna be a little bit more careful when he's fighting? He's gonna get feelings. At some point, you know, he's gonna be able to talk. So that's when things really are gonna get in. I highly recommend Dororo. For that, it gets a pass. Now, the next series that I'm following is The Rising of the Shield Hero, which is probably the second most talked about anime of this season. Rising of the Shield Hero is an isekai unlike anything that we've seen before or we've seen in a while because we're dealing with a main character who is pretty much doomed to fail. I mean, even with his weapon and everything, I mean, he has a shield out here in a world where knights and swords and dragons and who knows what else. And he got a shield. He can't even use anything else. He can't level himself because he can't fight. I mean, unless you get out there and get as badass as Captain America, you're not going to do anything with a shield. So our main character, Naofumi, he's designed to fail, and he's also a very likable character as well. The odds are stacked against him even with his weapon, but some of the things that we saw even in the double-sized first episode shows that this character is going to grow in a way that's going to be so endearing that you can't help but root for him because he knows he's getting screwed over. He knows that everybody in this world is against him and wants to see him fail for some reason. I think it's going to be a little bit more than that, than him just being the person who has a weak weapon. I think it's a reason. Maybe he is going to secretly be the strongest person. We're just going to have to see. It gotta be a reason why everybody just had it out for this guy from the beginning, but this isn't gonna be a problem for him. He's gonna go ahead and do things his own way, no matter what the system says for it, and that's what I like about Naofumi the most. He's probably one of the most real and relatable characters that we've seen in anime for quite some time. I mean, he's out there like, look, you guys trying to screw me, I'm gonna screw you, because at the end of the day, I don't have anybody's back but my own, so why should I care about everybody else? But at the same time, he still has that heart of a hero who wants to do the right thing. He's just gonna make sure that things are set up good for him first. People weren't as big on Log Horizon as I was, but Shield Hero is one of those series that I put more along the lines of that as far as its execution and how things go and how it feels more like a game than any of the other games that we've seen, you know, like with the life bars, the experience showing, like when, you know, he actually gets something, you can see the experience points go over his head, or when his companion, who I'm going to get to, you know, whenever he has the share experience meter, you know, his currency, there's weapons, there's stats, and it's just not like SAO. The thing that endears me about Shield Hero so much is that Naofumi is not broken out the gate like Kirito was in SAO. Now I know that kind of ruined Isekai and how everybody looks at it as a whole with SAO. Like even when Alicization has, you know, kind of cleaned up the things that SAO was all getting a lot of gripes about. You know, Kirito has to actually go out there and grind now. That's what I like about SAO Alicization, but we're still talking about Shield Hero. With Shield Hero, it just feels like more like you're in a game world with how everything works and how everything reacts, and that's the biggest selling point to me. Something that has been a trend the past few months in anime has just been these fantasy series and people, you know, kind of ragging on it because of the nature and the way things are doing. Like with the undisputed best girl of the season, Raphtalia, it's a little bit of controversy on how Naofumi actually acquires her. You know, people are kind of whining about it and think it's not right, or maybe it's just one particular place that's Anime News Network that's actually complaining about this, but he acquires her in a means that's not really savory. But you have to put yourself in Naofumi's shoes and see that if he didn't go about this the way he did, you know, not as necessarily his cover would have been blown, but it would have looked like he wasn't the right person to suit that. But Raphtalia, she has made an immediate impact in just 2 episodes. Hell, in 1 episode, in episode 2, she was a good enough character to get that best girl title. I think she's gonna last until the end of the year because she's growing and growing and growing as time goes on. In episode 3, while we're talking about 3-episode tests, oh my god, that battle in episode 3 and everything we got as far as the development with Naofumi, how the people see him with Raphtalia and her growth and her experience and how she is now and how she is so devoted to Naofumi, not only as a companion but as a friend as well. Guys, this series is something special. I think it's going to be something special. It definitely gets a pass. I cannot wait to see more. I'm excited to see Shield Hero every Wednesday, and that's exactly what I wanted out of it. The last series that I would like to talk about is Kaguya-Sama Love is War. This was a surprise shocker of winter 2019 for me because I was already pulled in to wanting to watch it. I was intrigued, and I actually forgot about it because I remember seeing that it was coming, and I read what it was about, and I was like, that's pretty cool. That's something that I would get into. But I was already intrigued again because this is a psych series, but it's also a psychological series, but it's a romantic comedy. So I'm like, how's this gonna work? I can tell you, it's working pretty damn well. I'll tell you that. I was curious on how this was gonna work, how the story was gonna tie in, but how do you do this? How do you make a psychological series, but at the same time, it's a romantic comedy? You make a freaking Death Note. That's what you do, but except, you know, people killing each other. It's about falling in love, baby. Or not necessarily falling in love, I would say the lack of actually admitting it, maybe, as we have our 2 characters, Kaguya and Miyuki. They're 2 students who are very high class, they're very rich, they're very powerful, they're at the top of their games, and they both have attraction to each other, but they do not want to be the first person to actually give into it because they will see themselves as a lower stature than what they are. So the cat and mouse game that we have with Miyuki confessing his love to Kaguya and her confessing his love to him is kind of like seeing who can get each other to give in first, you know, doing little things like, you know what, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna go talk to this girl because that's gonna make her jealous and maybe give in and decide to ask me out for a date. And then, you know, on one side of things, you're looking like, if I give in and ask her, that's gonna show interest. And, you know, they go into the mind games that these have. It's almost like a chess game between the 2, and it's like a short form series as well. Like each episode is split up into 2 parts, and day after day after day, these 2 characters try to one up each other. And we have some close calls, you know, where they might start showing a little bit of jealousy, or they might start showing that they're interested even though they're trying to act like they're tsundere and they're not. It's just a very fun series, and I absolutely loved all 3 episodes that I watched of this. And that opening, if you've seen my video, is in one of my top openings of the season so far. I love James Bond type of openings. I love strong vocals and just, you know, that casino-ish type of feel. This is a series, again, I didn't expect to like it that much. I mean, I kind of figured I would because, you know, what it was with the genres, but I did not expect to be so wholly amused by a story of a cat and mouse game about admitting your love to each other. Definitely check it out. I would say definitely check out the first 3 episodes. See what you guys think. As far as my thoughts on it, Kaguya-Sama Love is War definitely gets a pass with the 3-episode test. And that's all I got for you guys right now, because I know we've been here for quite a while. But because I am doing less videos, I want to bring you guys more videos like this where I give you my thoughts overall. So definitely let me know what you guys thought of the format. Definitely let me know what you guys thought of these series that I mentioned. Of course, there's a lot more out there than what I have mentioned. These are the ones that I watched the most, you know, besides the obvious, you know, like Mob Psycho and Karakuri Circus and JoJo and things like that. They're leftovers, so I didn't really need to talk about them. I just wanted to talk about new properties. So let me know what you guys thought of the winter season 2019 so far. What are your favorites? Some of these, are you giving them a pass or a fail? What do you think I should be watching? Because I do make my way around to watching everything at some point. But just like I said, in the point of this video was to focus on the things I'm watching the most and the things that I would keep watching and probably not put on the back burner. So I'm definitely interested in knowing what you guys think as well. And I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. This 3-episode test, or the 3-episode roundup, as we're going to call it here at the Scout Report, is something that I aim to do every season. You know, just watch the things I'm interested in and give you a pretty much an overview of what I think and if it gets a pass or fail. So let me know what you guys think about that too. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I know I said that like 50 times already, but if you like the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as there's not a shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. As I always say, you guys be anywhere on YouTube right now, you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.